Yeah. Okay. Morning, everybody. Welcome to our Amud Yomi Shiur. We are learning Maseches Kiddushin and Amud today. Today's Amud officially would be Nun Daled Amud Aleph, but we are still in Nun Gimel Amud Beis. We're over 10 lines from the bottom of the page. The line starts with the word Mi Meile, and then you have the words Bo Mine Rove Merav Chisda. Bo Mine Rove Merav Chisda. That's where we are. Good morning, everybody. Our YouTube viewers and people who watch us on Torah anytime. But before we continue, we clearly have to tie a lot of loose ends from yesterday. Yesterday, there was a chart, there was a lot of factors. Right now, we're not talking about Meister Sheni. Meister Sheni is already behind us. You can review if you want. Now, the machlokes between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yehuda, which we discussed yesterday, is about Hekdesh, a person who was Mekadesh, not Makdish. The person who was Mekadesh, a woman with Hekdesh, is abusing, is embezzling, taking out Hekdesh's item, giving it to the woman. She receives it. That of itself means that they between them are taking it from the domain of Hekdesh into a foreign, different domain, which is her. And then that's called Meillah. Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Meir argued, and I'm not going to even write it down because it's just simply the two opposites. Rabbi Yehuda, let's start with Rabbi Yehuda. Yesterday we discussed Rabbi Meir much more at length, and I told you that today I'll explain Rabbi Yehuda. I'm trying to be an honest man and keep to my promises. Rabbi Yehuda said that if the person was Mekadesh b'Me'ila and it was b'Shoigeg, yeah, Mekadesh b'Shoigeg, there's a difference between the Shoigeg and Meizid. If it was Mekadesh b'Shoigeg, then it's Me'ila and she's Mekudeshes, yeah, and b'Meizid, she's not Mekudeshes, yeah. Rabbi Yehuda says b'Shoigeg Mekudeshes, b'Meizid, she's not Mekudeshes, and we're asking why. I don't want to keep you tortured till the next page, so I'll tell you now. Basically, this is something important which I assume people know, and that is the din me'ila. Classically, when we say me'ila, what do we mean? Shoigig. The korban that you have to give for me'ila and the choimesh and the korban osham are only b'shoigig. If you mal b'mezid, you may get malchus, you may maybe only b'dei shamayim. Me'ila classically is me'ila b'shoigig, and therefore says Rabbi Yehuda, I'm a mainstream man. If the person was shoigeg, what's shoigeg? He gave her the ring, not knowing it's meila. She received it, not knowing it's hekdesh. She didn't know that's hekdesh. That's called meila. And therefore, once the Torah tells me, it goes together. Once the Torah told me that there's a din of meila and I have to pay chomesh v'osham, it also means, what does meila also mean? The effect, the impact of meila is that now the money is out of the realm of Hekdesh and belongs to the new person. And also you're allowed to use that item. It was kilu desecrated. The kedusha fell off it. That's the other effect of Meila. Mimela, the kedushin apply. Now she has regular ring in her hand. It goes together. In other words, if you get the punishment, it means it's serious business. Let's put it in Balabatisha terms. It's serious business means two things. The Torah says, oh, you have to pay chomesh and osham, ba 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 ba. The whole business is about shoigig. Oh, it's mila, always means shoigig. And therefore, it also means, serious business means there was real effect taking place. And now she's mekudeshes. Why is she mekudeshes? Because that's mehila. What are you punishing me for? If it was just playing around with a ring, but the ring stayed in the realm of Hekdesh, what do you punish the person for? You only punish him because he moved it and removed it from the realm of Hekdesh, and that's Kiddushin. It was moved from Hekdesh into her finger by his will. He was coining it from Hekdesh, gave it to her. Mazel Tov, not such a great Mazel Tov because it's Meila, but the Master she's Mukudeshes. The Shenkin Mezid, since Mezid does not have a punishment, Mezid doesn't have punishment prescribed in the Torah. Mezid does not mean Meila. If you are willingly interested to go ahead and you're so nasty, so terrible, and what do? You want to take out the Meila, the item from Hekdesh, the Mezid? No, that's not called Meila. And the item still, I think, I'm not 100% sure what I'm saying is right according to Rabbi Yehuda. Either the item stays by Hekdesh completely, like you didn't move it, or at least she's not Mekudeshes. That's for sure. She's not Mekudeshes because it's not called Meila. It's not Meila. It means nothing happened. It didn't really move out of the realm of Hekdesh, and therefore, no punishment, no effect, no Kiddushin, no nothing. That's Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Meir said the opposite. Rabbi Meir says a big chiddush. Rabbi Meir is now, and only today we're going to understand Rabbi Meir much better, but we're just going to summarize what we said yesterday. And we're going to see today a Tosfos. We're going to see Tosfos today, rather big one, but we're going to see half of it. What did Rameir say? The opposite. If he's Mekadesh be Shoigeg, she's not Mekudeshes. Why? Because had they known that this is business of Meillah, of Hekdesh, they wouldn't have wanted. They wouldn't have wanted such Kiddushin to take place. They don't want to sin. And if their Rotzen is really not to take it out, it doesn't go out. It was a mistake. Shenken b'mezid, it is Hekdesh, because that's what they want. You want to sin? Bavakasha, great. Not great. But yeah, it's going to work. And now you want to take it out of Hekdesh. She wants to receive it out from Hekdesh. That's not a good thing. Although there's no punishment, but Lemaisa, Rameir holds the other way around. There's no punishment, or at least no punishment of the korban and the money. And the Meillah takes place, and the woman is Mekudeshes. We're going to elaborate much, much more on Rabbi Meir's opinion today with really amazing Kiddushin. There will be a lot of stuff here with Rabbi Meir and Meillah. So I would just continue now, and some of what I said now will also be explained better as we go along. Isha ein miskadeshes. I understand that the woman is not miskadeshes. Why? Because she's not interested. She doesn't want, she's a good girl. She's a good Bisyakov girl. She doesn't want to be miskadeshes with Meillah. Had she known that it was Hekdesh Meillah, she wouldn't have wanted. So that's not called having das. But the question is, Mois, what about the money? Do we say that Meillah took place, and therefore the money, what happens with Meillah? Two things happen. You get punished, yeah, or three things. The money is out of Hekdesh's realm, and therefore the money now became secular. The money went off the derech. Now the Mois is now Chulin. The kedusha popped up, poofed away, because now belongs to Chulin. It's not under Hekdesh's authority anymore. It's Chulin. So I know the woman is not miskadeshes because she doesn't want, but we still say that her receiving the money means that the money now was changed from Hekdesh into Chulin. Omarlei, the rather obvious answer is from Rav Chizda, Isha and miskadeshes moisech yetzulachulin. Obviously not. If the woman doesn't want to go to be miskadesh, right, then her kiddushin, his kiddushin are null. So what took it out of hekdesh, right? What's taking out of hekdesh? When he moves from one realm to the other. Imagine yourself two circles: hekdesh, non-hekdesh, hekdesh and chulin. Who represents the outside world here? She. So if she doesn't want the kiddushin, and she's not an eshethish, so the kiddushin take place, so nothing really moved. It stayed within the circle of Ekdesh. It was given into her hand, but 5 minutes later, or 5 days later, or 5 weeks later, when she found out that it was Ekdesh, retroactively the Kiddushin is nothing, garnished, mitnished. Meillah, the Hekdesh money never left the realm of Hekdesh, because she didn't really receive it. So we never really left Hekdesh's domain. And Meillah, it stays what? It stays Enochinami, Hekdesh, and nothing happened. But now we're going to go much stronger. Now comes, wow, up until now, if you just read the Gemara now, you understand, you know what? The issue is a person doesn't want to really sin. It's shoigeg, right? And therefore, if it's shoigeg, it's not called, she wouldn't want that to take place. Therefore, there's no Meillah, because there's no transaction. What's Meillah? There's a transaction. I'm moving it, albeit mistakenly. I'm a gizbar. I took the hekdesh and I gave it to the lady. Oh, so sorry, mistake. No Meillah, because it wasn't really moved to another willing partner outside Hekdesh's world. Now we're going to accelerate and say much, much more. Rav Chia bar Abin asked Rav Chizda, yeah? He asked Rav Chizda the following question. Bemecher mai, question mark. What would be by mecher? Let's say you're not Mekadesh, you want to sell something, yeah? In other words, it's a mechira. What did you do? You took something, you went to the store, and you took with you by mistake, who's you? A gizbar, or some a person that has money of Ekdesh, and you bought something with money of Ekdesh. You gave him 5 shekels, 10 shekels, 50 shekels who belong to Ekdesh unknowingly, and you bought with it your supper. You bought something with it. Then the question is, would that be different to a woman? Would we say here that did he buy the item or didn't he buy the item? Do we say now the item, the yellow cheese or whatever is mine, and the money is chulin in the hands of the seller? Yes or no? Is it different to a woman or not? Wow. Saying no, Mecher is the same. And if you sold it if you took out the money of the Hekdesh and you basically transferred it outside Hekdesh into the hands of someone else in order that he should have it, and in return he should give him something, it's not Kana, and lo and behold, we're going to see now Rashi and some of Toises, it's not even called Me'ila at all. And then begs the question, if you're telling me, we always knew Me'ila is B'shoigeg, and Me'ila means what? Taking out of Hekdesh's realm. So where does Me'ila apply, right? Yeah, it's all very nice to say everyone's tzaddikim, and if they knew, they wouldn't have wanted. When do you have Me'ila in the world, right? Because Me'ila is B'shoigeg. That's up until now was undebatable, yeah? If you're telling me that if I take it out of Hekdesh in order to be Mekadesh or sell or any other transaction, it's not Me'ila, so when do you have Me'ila? And why is Mezid different? Why is it if I'm a willing partner, do it b'chavona, then it's different? Let's see Rashi now, and we'll have to see, Baruch Hashem, we're zoiche also to see some of Tosis today. Zokt Rashi. Loi kono. Look at Rashi, loi kono. It's in the not narrowest and not the widest lines. It's the middle lines, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines from the end of the middle lines. Line starts with the word kono, loi kono. The lo yotzu mos lechulin. The mois are not chulin. The mois remain what? I went to the shop with what? With a few coins of shkolim. I gave it to the storekeeper. It's not chulin. It stays hekdesh in his hand because these guys don't want to sin. So where's Meila? So where do you find Meila? The ein Meila l'Rabbi Meir be'ekdeshois ela be'oichel oichle hekdesh. Wow. The only way you can have Meila is if food of hekdesh, not with coins. It can be with food, and you ate the food. Food eating has nothing to do with kavana, because now it's digested in your stomach. When it's about taking out, you say, because they took it out of the realm, was b'shoigeg. Imele, he never really left hekdesh, because not people really didn't want to do that. But by achila, done deal. You ate something of hekdesh. It doesn't have to be, we're not talking about behema even. Stam, there's carrots. I was makdish carrots to Beis HaMikdash so they can sell them and buy something. I ate the carrots. That's Meila. Because reality is, I took it away from Hekdesh. Now it's digested in my tummy. Aval moitzi mois Hekdesh ein lo Meila. You know why? Bechol mokom shehen shem Hekdesh aleihem. Oh, Rashi is now defining very, very interestingly what's going on here. Says Rashi, as long as you do it b'shoigeg, the Meila, you took it out of the realm of Hekdesh, it's not out of the realm of Hekdesh. It stays, Hekdesh's long arm is there everywhere. Although I transferred it to the seller, to the shopkeeper, the etzem, the name Hekdesh, stays with it wherever it goes. We saw this concept, by the way, also in Bava Kama, called Hecha de Isei, because of the Rachmana Isei. Wherever it is, it belongs to Hekdesh. Let's say I take something from Hekdesh and I lend it to you and I sell it to you, doesn't matter. Hekdesh always follows it. Let's say you're, I don't know, you're a British citizen and you travel the world and you live here half a year and here 2 days and you still remain British, although you're physically in different places, right? Lamaisa, you are who you are. The Hekdesh remains Hekdesh regardless to where it is, as long as it's B'shoigig. Why is Mezid any different? If we say that we're saying something new now. Up until now, I thought it just because of the person's kavana. Now Rashi is telling me, no, it doesn't matter. You moved it to another domain because it remains Hekdesh's. Yeah, I'm here and I'm in America. I'm in Panama. I'm in Canada. I remain Israeli because that's my passport. Yeah, Hekdesh remains Hekdesh. We have to see Tosfos. Unbelievable Tosfos. Af b'mecher lo kono. Last Tosfos. The only 2 of them in the page. Yeah. Second Tosfos. V'lo yotzu mos lechulin. Mos are not chulin just because you gave them either to a woman who for Kiddushin or to the man in the grocery store or in Osher and the ein meila l'Rabbi Meir ela b'oichel hekdesh. So far so good. This says the Rashi. Where is Meila? What did the Torah want with Meila? When you eat it, eating is reality. Yeah, eating is it's consumed. It's nothing. Finished. It's part of my fat. Aval b'moitzi hekdesh ein meila. Why? When you just take out the hekdesh, there's no meila. The chol mokum shu shem hekdesh chal olov. Wherever the item is, hekdesh follows it wherever it is, and even if it exchanged 10 hands with all kinds of kavanas, so far shoygig, by the way, it stays hekdesh. So you never really took it out of hekdesh. Just because now with the hands of Reuven and the hands of Shimon, it's one big joke. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the owner of it wherever it is. And now Tessus quotes the line which I told you from Bava Kama, The kolecha de isa begaza de Rachmana isay. What? Yeah, wherever it is, it stays by Rachmana by Hashem. Now, what's the difference between shogeg and mezid then? Ooh, says Tosfos, you know why that is so? You know why we say that it really stays by Hekdesh? Not because Hekdesh is the big bad wolf. Keven the Aveyonda lo Avemapi. Because had he known that it's Hekdesh, he wouldn't have taken it out. Okay. Mimela, because it's two factors. Hekdesh remains wherever it is, plus the fact that had I known that it's Hekdesh, I wouldn't have wanted to take it out. Aval b'mezid, what happens if, as we know, if a person was mekadesh a woman or gave it to the store b'mezid, unfortunately, is a big choite and he takes money of Hekdesh and says, I don't care. I know I do care, but I really, really need this item now, and the only money I ever told me is Hekdesh. What can I do? Let's say, down the kaf schus. But he took the money of Hekdesh and he paid with it for the cottage cheese and the bread and the peppers. B'mezid, or a woman, lavdil, kiddush. Why? What's the difference? There'll be male time edoma hekdesh b'mezid mischalel. Oh, that's a kiddush now. As I told you, and I stand by what I say, the mainstream opinion, which is here taken by Rabbi Meir's opponent, Rabbi Yehuda, they say no. Hekdesh means shoygeg. Mezid is not hekdesh. I don't care what you want. Mezid is not called me'ila. Here comes the big chiddush of Tosfos. This is no. Rabbi Meir believes that mezid is called me'ila, and listen to the source. Umapi klamikro. I will read the words in the parentheses now because they're right. Oy mo'alomal. Wow. What does it say mo'alomal? Remember a woman. It says oy mo'alomal, right? And it says mo'alomal. It speaks about hekdesh, and also there's another woman in the Torah that says that she was mo'el mo'el with an ayin in a completely different context. Okay, we'll see it soon. Okay, there was a attempt to, I guess, you missed your trip to Hawaii, you know. The ein me'ila, what? No, not a case, halacha. The ein me'ila el b'shinui. Rabbi Meir believes, I'm going to tell the posuk soon, it begins with a samech. The ein me'ila el b'shinui. Me'ila means when you change the domain, kloimer b'mezid. The mir tzelagoyz lo yiknenu miyad, v'zeh shina echad kiddush b'mezid. In other words, let's say I'm a gazlan, and I snatched your item b'chavono. If I do yush v'chula, you do, it'll be mine, right? In other words, mezid, to take the mezid from one domain to the other, usually works, right? You're going to tell me that really me'ila only works b'shoigeg? No, says Rav Meir. I have another pasuk. I said it starts with a samech. Last chance for trip to Hawaii, 5-star hotel in the cruise. Yeah. Gabe stoito. Gabe ish kitiste ishto umalo b'mal. The woman who is unfaithful to her husband, called mo'ala b'mal, embezzled. What do you mean embezzled? It wasn't about money. It was about relationship. The hostom al kochach b'mezid ka'omar. Of course, she was a mezida. You see that the term me'ila, which is so classically connected always to shogeg, says Rabbi Meir, I have news for you. And I'm telling you, just like we saw Soita, the author Soita, is mezid. She planned the whole thing and she gave him a drink, and they closed themselves in the room. It's all mezid. If she was oines, we're not a Soita, miskena, but only if she's mezid. So since Soita is the epitome of mezid, and it's called mo'alo boy mal in the husband, voila. We have me'ila b'mezid, right? And we do a gzera shava kind of, and we say me'ila applies in mezid. Divided shemezano mezidahi v'chule b'kitzer. I'm not going further. That's the point. So let's now digest the new news from Rabbi Meir against what we knew our whole lives. So Rabbi Meir is coming here with big news, which, by the way, right now we are in this big Kiddush. Rabbi Meir is against everybody. Rabbi Meir says Me'ila is just the opposite from you thought all your life. You, Rabbi Yehuda, and everybody else, you think that Me'ila is only B'shoigeg and Mezid is not. No. B'shoigeg, it's not called Me'ila because I really didn't want to move it to the other place. I was unaware of what's going on, right? And as long as, and therefore Hekdesh stays wherever it goes. Yeah. And I didn't break it away from Hekdesh B'mezid. Stays Hekdesh. So when do you have shoygeg? Don't you ever have shoygeg? Yes, but eating has nothing to do with domains or the thing's gone, finished. You had a piece of steak. Now it's a part of you. I don't know. It's now taken care of by your peptic acids. It's not there anymore. And then you really, really took it out. And then, but it has to be with hano, not if you burn it. By the way, if you flush it down the toilet. You enjoyed it. Oh, what a great steak. I didn't know it's Hekdesh. It's gone completely. I took it by mistake from Hekdesh, and you can't say it stays Hekdesh because it doesn't exist. That's called Meillah, Beishoigeg. But Mezid is Meillah. Wow. Mezid is Meillah? Yes, sir. We saw that Soito, yeah, the words Meillah apply to Soito, which is the epitome of Mezid. So too, Mezid does, yeah, Meillah does apply to Mezid case. And if I wanted, like a Gazlan, to take it away from English, and you guess what I did? I have a willing partner, a partner in crime, me, and let's say there's a woman who was a bed, who was not Yerushalayim. She says, yeah, I want to be Miskadish with Mezid. Yeah. Adafka, anti-system. I want the Kiddushin to be with something of Hekdesh, or maybe she thinks it's very holy, I don't know. And she does it b'chavono, then enechinami, then she's mekudeshes before she'll be male, because they want it, and therefore it's meila, and then it leaves the domain of Hekdesh and becomes hers. Ad kan, the big news. Now we're going to see a question. Yes, Esivei. Well, Hashem, we have a peanut gallery today, full force. Esivei. Now we're going to question what we just said. So before we continue, let's introduce ourselves to three types of people that have three different money turnover. I think that's a nice word here. In other words, there's a person who's balabais, who doesn't use the cash all the time. He doesn't, use cash as frequently as a business owner, right? He's balabais. There's a chenvani who has business and sometimes he needs cash, but sometimes he gives or buys in credit. And you have a shulchani who's, what's a shulchani in today's terms? Money changer or banker. He uses cash all the time. Today the world is very different, but the way normally it was, shulchani, his whole business is just cash. Guy who's a grocery store, he has many things in his store, and sometimes he gives people in credit, he buys from the supplies credit, he uses cash more than the regular Joe Schmo. Yeah, so there are three levels here of how frequently do they use cash. And before we continue, what happens if a gizbar mistakenly gave a whole wad of cash or a pouch full of money, of coins? He gave them mistakenly to deposit what? To who? To either balabais, chenvani, or shulchani, right? So now, in certain cases, the gizbar who deposited it in their hands should have thought, hey, the chenvani is going to use it very, very frequently. Not the chenvani, the shulchani. He gave it to the shulchani would use it all the time, yeah, and give it back to you. But obviously, it's going to use the money, and that's an understandable thing. The balabais, if you gave him money, the balabais is not so likely to open it because it doesn't need cash so much, and the chenvani is somewhere in the middle. Let's see now. Esevei. Actually, I want to see Rashi now in chenvani kebalabais. Before we continue, Rashi will tell us there's a difference whether the gizbar gave it to him in a closed envelope or in an open envelope. Let's look at Rashi chenvani kebalabais towards the end of the middle lines, towards the end. Mishnei b'meila. Gizbar hamafkid moset shel shulchani. A gizbar deposited money by the banker. Im tzrurin. Now that's the social norm, is if you give it to the chenvani tied up, all closed in a closed bag, lo yishtamish behem. Even he, the banker who uses money all the time, is not supposed to use it. He knows it's for safekeeping and give it back to the balabais as it was. Lefikach, therefore, the whole thing is a mistake, by the way. It's all shoygig. Im hoitzi, let's say now the banker was wrong. The banker was a naughty boy. You know the banks don't always do what you want them to do. Did I burst the bubble? So then what? So now the banker, against the business ethics, what did he do? He opened the envelope and did stuff with that. I don't know, business of banking business. Then loyma ala gizbar ela shulchani. The gizbar, it's not his fault. Although the gizbar was mistaken right from the beginning to give it to the banker, but I gave it to the banker closed, not for him to use it. He's the one who broke the rule. It's his fault. Who? The banker, the shulchani. So now the shulchani, being b'shoigeg, the shulchani will have to give chomish and osham. The shulchani gave it to Mr. Client, to Chun Chan Chun, who came to the bank. Now he will have to bear the consequences because he was not supposed to. And he's the one who did it. He didn't know that it's hekdesh, but he's still the one who acted. He's the one who's mechadish, the taking out against expectation. The imutorim. However, if the gizbar gave money in an open bag, open envelope to the banker, then the business etiquette norm is what? Yishtamish beim. It means it's like telling the banker, okay, use them and give me back. It's like alvo. I lefikach imoitzi mo gizbar. If anything happened by the banker, whose fault is it? The gizbar. Why? Because the gizbar, the bilshuse ovad, right? He did it with the permission of the gizbar. When the gizbar gives an envelope with open money with open envelope to the banker, it's an invitation. No problem. Okay, you can use the money. So who's the one who ki'ilu took out the money? The gizbar, right? They made the yoda the shulchoni tzochl todir. He knows very well that shulchoni needs money todir all the time. Aval balabais. Now let's go to the other extreme. What happens if my name is Gizbar Gizbarovich? We're in the first wide line, by the way, if you lost yourself. Gizbar Gizbarovich II, and I gave an envelope to Balabais, regular Joe Schmo, a koilel guy, computer guy, I don't know, regular bus driver, yeah, nice guy, my neighbor. I gave it to him because I go to Chutz La'aretz. He's not such a wheeler dealer, he's not a gemach guy, right? Sometimes he uses cash when he needs to, not all the time, right? So then, bein kach u bein kach, the Balabais, when I gave him or anybody gave him an envelope, Gizbar or others, when they give him an envelope, open or closed, given to Balabais, then the normal etiquette is what? Lo ishtamish behen. The Balabais is not supposed to use it. Why? Because when somebody deposits money by regular Balabais or your next door neighbor, the Avrech or the guy, the Stam Balabais, Balabais doesn't use money all the time. Oh, whose fault is it if it was unexpectedly, surprisingly, the Balabais is not such a nice guy, and he opened or just used the open money to pay cash, to pay to the plumber who came to his house. He wasn't supposed to. So then whose fault is it? The Balabais. The one, yeah, he's the one who broke the chain of trust, and he is the Moel. The Shaila is, what about Mr. Henry? Back to the Gemara. Now we can start the Gemara. Back to the Gemara. ACB, line starts with ACB. Chenveni kebalabais diver Rabbi Meir. Says Rabbi Meir, a chenveni which uses cash less than a shulchani and more than balabais. The way we view him is like balabais, meaning when I put a closed envelope by the chenveni, I expect it to be what? To be like balabais, and even an open envelope, I assume it will be like balabais. You're not supposed to use it, Mr. Chenveni, because your cash turnover is not so great. I thought it will be closed. You opened it and used it. It was ekdesh. Your fault. You pay the chomish v'asham. Rabbi Yehuda says no. I view that gray area, that middle of the case, like shulchani. A chenveni that received an open envelope is allowed to use it, just like the banker is. Yeah, he's still a Makolit guy, uses cash a lot, and therefore shulchani. And if you gave him an open envelope, he's supposed to use it, and it's the gizbar's fault, not his fault. Wait a second. 1 second. One thing you see for sure. What happened at the end of the day? What did they tell you? Either the chenveni or balabais or the whoever, the banker, they gave the money to someone, right? And that someone either gave them dollars for shekels, it's a money changer, he bought yellow cheese. So we're talking about transactions, and we say the Meillah took place. We're only looking for who to blame, but Meillah did take place. And did we just see the name Rabbi Meir here? Ooh. So you see Rabbi Meir does believe that you can have Meillah by shoygeg. And this is classically shoygeg here. This is shoygeg, and it's Meillah just by transferring the money. Nobody ate the money. Yeah, they gave it to other people. The only point of disagreement here is the only argument is chenveni like balbais like shulchani, as I think we explained well enough. But everybody agrees im hoitzimal. Everyone agrees that whoever took it out at some point, we're now looking for the culprit, but lamaisa, if you took out the money here, and it was shoygeg, mal, how can you explain that according to Rabbi Meir? So you see what you said is not right. And it says Gemara, Rabbi Meir, ledvov del biudakoma. Rabbi Meir, and that's a classical Gemara answer. Rabbi Meir is talking to Rabbi Yehuda in his terms of Rabbi Yehuda, and he says as follows: Ledidi, you want to ask me? Oh, I'm out of that discussion completely. I'm laughing in the corner here. Even if you took out the money, who the chenveni balabais, the banker, the shmenker, Whoever did it, I don't care. Even if took out the money, there is no Meillah. It's shoygeg. It remains hektish. The whole argument is, for me, it does make a difference. But I'm trying to talk sense into you. In your terms, what do you think? You, Rabbi Yehuda, as they argued in our Mishnah, you believe that taking out b'shoigeg money is meila. So I'm just trying to tell you, svara oidili miha. What's miha? At least admit to me, to some logic, the chenveni kebala bayis. Please accept at least that the chenveni does not have such amazing cash turnover like a banker. It's not just about cash, and therefore he should be like balabais. And if you gave it to him, even in an open envelope, then no. Then still potter. Yeah, the balabais is not potter. He's not supposed to open it, and he's moyel. Anybody says no, I view the chenveni, the middle guy, like a shulchoni, like a banker. He has enough of turnover. Adkan, but we stay so far. Yeah, right now it's going to change very, very soon. Right now, we think again. The Rakonit for Bemer Meillah does not apply in Shogeg except for eating. Amazing. Bemer has two cases of Meillah. Either you ate by mistake, you ate on purpose, but you made a mistake that you didn't know it's Hekdesh. Mistake of the steak. You thought by mistake that the steak is Chulin and not Hekdesh, and you ate it. You took it out of Hekdesh. Or you took it out of Hekdesh by money or items, and you removed it b'mezid, b'chavana, like a soita, that's also Meillah. Omar Rav, now Rav, up until now was Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yaakov talking. Now Rav, second time we see in close proximity, Rav argues with Rabbi Yochanan. Omar Rav, yeah, now is kind of okay for questions. 1 second. Rav says, I completely disagree with everything you said. And he says as follows. Chazarnu al kol tzodim shel Rabbi Meir. Yeah, I have studied. I did my PhD on Rabbi Meir's teachings. Says Rav. I looked all over whenever Rabbi Meir has something to say about Meila. No, I'm sorry. You're saying a very nice theory, a very nice idea, but I never heard Rabbi Meir saying it. I don't even see indicated. When I kept telling you all the time, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Meir, Rabbi Meir, that was based on a theory of Rabbi Yochanan and his group, Rabbi Yaakov and those. They say that that's what Rabbi Meir means, because the only thing Rabbi Meir said that made them say that was our Mishnah. Because our Mishnah said something shocking, that B'mezid, she is Mekudeshes, Shegeg, not Mekudeshes, right? And then the question was, why? Now, you're telling me that a huge Chiddush, yeah, that Hekdesh is not Mischal B'Shegeg, and Ez B'mezid, never found such a thing. We just have to now find a new pshat for our Mishnah. Mishnah Seinu. Now it begs the question, how come in our Mishnah, Rabbi Meir said what he said? That's going to be a very interesting ukimta. The kutnois kehuna sheloi bolu. You know how the person was Mekadesher with one specific item, was Mekadesher, this week's parsha. The kutnois kehuna sheloi bolu. In other words, it was Mekadesher with the clothes of the Kohanim, which are still good to use, which did not wear and tear yet. He was Mekadesher, he's a Kohen maybe, he's Mekadesher with his Beged Kehuna, and that's why there's a special halacha here. What? Says the Gemara, Hoil v'nitnu lahanus behen, which means Bigne Kehuna are almost the only exception to the rule. Usually, Hekdesh, you're not allowed to be Nehene. Let me ask you a question. Am I allowed to take a Kli, let's say a vessel where you're supposed to have the blood inside, or one of the many, many vessels of Beis HaMikdash, one of the 96 scale of Beis HaMikdash. Am I allowed to use it, pour wine, and enjoy and drink from it? Chas v'shalom. That's what Achashverosh did, yeah? Relevant to now. It's very awesome to do. The only item that I'm somehow allowed to use for my own hano, not in order to serve Hashem, and soon we'll see why, are the big day kehuna. And so, wait. Lefi, we are here now. Lefi shalonit na Torah l'malocha hashoris. Everything will be explained. Torah was not given to angels, which means. Imagine yourself a Kohen at the end of a hard day. Yep. It's the end of the work. Yeah, hard day's night. And what's now? He is about to take off the clothes. He's about to take off the kutoines and michnasayim and move to his pajamas, whatever. and then he stopped working already. He finished his work. Oh, there were like 3 chatois, 2 hashamas, 1 oila, and what? Yeah, and a lady, a yoledis, and a postpartum person. Yeah, we had it all, and now what? What?
The stomach is full.
The stomach is full, but that's not the issue. Now he's taking off his clothes. Wait, as quick as you are, it takes you 5-10 seconds to remove the big dekihuna. How can you stay with the big dekihuna? You're not working right now. You're off duty. You finished your shift, and you're very quickly taking off your clothes. You're not allowed to enjoy the warmth. It's cold in Yerushalayim. Yeah, you're not allowed to enjoy the warmth and the presence of the clothes on your body. When you wear clothes, nice, good, white shirt, yeah, you enjoy it. You're enjoying what? Big dekihuna outside work. You are a moyel, says the Torah. Excuse me, mister. The Torah is not given to angels. As quick as you are to take off your clothes, instead of 10 seconds, it will be 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Yeah, like a movie thing. Yeah, still, at the end of the day, it takes some time. And because Chachamim were aware of that, they made a special condition that when you are makdish, well, it's not you, when the gizbarim or the people in charge would be makdish, would buy or make or whatever that is, the big dekehuna, they would make a t'nai right from the start that if the person unwillingly be'oines is going to enjoy it, it's okay and it's not called meila. In other words, big dekehuna have that special, heter, the special heter that if you're bemazid, you are a moil. Hence Rabbi Meir. If a kohen chas v'sholem is saying, okay, it was a hard day, I'm going to go to the base of Moiked, to that four-cornered place on the right-hand side after and he's going to go his cup of coffee there, and what? And it feels very nice to be with big Oh, no. If you're mazid, and you stay in there nice 10 minutes with your coffee with the big dekuna, you're a choite. And then it's called meila. It's called meila. I'm not saying it's to bring a korban. I'm not going into that, but it's conceptually meila. But if you did it b'shoigeg, I take it off as fast as I can, but those 5-10 seconds are still in my body. What do you want me to do? That's not called meila because it's inevitable. And therefore, but now the huge chiddush is that Rabbi Meir wants to say, or we want to explain to Rabbi Meir, because we extend and expand that kula. Just because big de kehuna, inadvertently, people enjoy them b'shoigeg after work, after hours, for 5 seconds, 10 seconds. I don't know how long it takes to take off the clothes. I never measured it. Then what? Then what happens? Therefore, any kind of me'ilah b'shoigeg is not called me'ilah, which means usually Rabbi Meir comes back to the fold. Rabbi Meir is back with us. Say hello to Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir really believes when it comes to any kind of hekdesh in the world, except for Big Dekiruna, and maybe you'll see other things, then what? It's mainstream. What's called Mila? Shoigeg. What's called not Mila? Mazid. And if you transferred money to somebody else, the Chenvani, the Balabai, it's Meila. All good. The Shoigeg Meila. Elamai. There's one exception to the rule where it's the opposite, and that is Big Dekiruna. Big Dekiruna, because by nature is something that you wear and you can't get off, quick enough. Therefore, the shoigeg meila never applied because that's how Chachamim Kilu made excuse the pun, Taylor made a hekdesh for that for that kind of hekdesh right from the start. When we makdish big de when you stole the beged kiuna and you makdish it based on mikdash, you have in mind people who didn't knew what they were doing. You do it in what way? That shoigeg would not have meila and mezid will have meila. Dafka to outsmart the other way. And therefore, now we expand it further. You have to understand it's another stage. A man, a kohen, is mekadesh a woman with big de kehuna, and let's say he didn't know it's big de kehuna. Really, he didn't. That kutoines, he thought it's something stylish. He didn't know it's big de kehuna. He thought it's from Zara. I don't know. He thought lahavdil of $5, yeah, and he gave it to her. So then, because it's shoigeg, we extend the concept of shoigeg of wearing after hours to shoigeg in general. And we say shoigeg there is no meila, and in mezid there is meila. That's the new pshat of Rav explaining Rabbi Meir. Okay, Toshma. Now one more. Okay, you will sink in. You can ask me soon. Toshma, kutnus kehuna. Let's see another brisa. Very easy. Now, why did you keep saying kutnus kehuna shaloi bolu? Oh, listen to the irony of life. What kind of big de kehuna? We have that special dispensation, that special heter, only big de kiuna that are loy bolu, that are still fresh and new and can be worn. there's a halacha. A kohen is not allowed to wear old beged that's already worn out, already tatty. A kohen is not allowed to wear. It has to be nice. They have to look mechubad, presentable. The kohanim. So you're not allowed to wear something too small, too big, or too faded. And therefore, funnily enough, the beged kuna that's already faded, then you're not allowed to be moil. The kedusha remains. Nothing takes away the kedusha. And because kohanim don't wear it anymore, then even the shoygeg, you have meila. It's back to normal because kohanim don't wear it anymore. So you don't have that kula. Nobody's supposed to wear it, not inside work and not outside work. Now, frag the Gemara, that's going to be a very small question and answer now. Toshma, kutnos kehuna shabolu, moilin behen, diva abimeir. Yeah. Abimeir says, the kutnos kehuna, they were worn out already. Meila applies to them. Beshoigeg, says Abimeir, good, after they're already not usable. But the Gemara is attempting to say, my love, afilu loy bolu. Maybe Abimeir wants to say that even if they're not bolu, even if they're new and wearable and usable, maybe even then we have me'ila b'shoigig, unlike what we said. Says no, loy bolu davka. Very good. That just that accentuates it. No, only bolu, only big the kuna that already are out of use. You want to send them to the gmach. Yeah. By the way, what did they do with the big kuna after their bolu? What? A psil for the either menorah or for the outside menorahs. Yeah, very nice. They would make wicks for the either menorah for sure for the outside for Simchas Beis Sheva. In Ezra's Noshim they had 4 huge lamps. I think could be also for the menorah. Yeah, that's more in Shabbos. Very good. But the Maisa, yeah, the kids. If they're worn out, you're not allowed to do anything with it because the kohanim are not wearing it. So that back to normal. Only the fresh new ones the kohanim wore. There, and that's the story of our Mishnah. If you do it b'shogeg, you transfer it b'shogeg. There's no meila there. Now, frag the Gemara. Toshma. Now we're going to talk about it's a whole new issue. Shkolim, mamish. We get to the parsha we just read. Parsha Shkolim. Toises here goes at great length to explain the whole mahalach of the finances of Beis Hamikdash. It would be interesting to see, but not today. Maybe we'll see some of it. Lamaisa, all we have to know is, for now, that the financial system of Beis Hamikdash were very makpid, lehavdil, like today's world with accountants and all that and the taxes. Every year, is very different to the one before, right? The tax year 2023, tax year 2024, right? Every tax year is different. So to lehavdil, every hekdesh year was different. When did they start collecting the money from Rosh Chodesh Adar until Nisan for the upcoming year? Rosh Chodesh Nisan, they would start, taking money from the current money. People would bring money for this year. During this year, they would bring money to Beis Hamikdash, and these were called Kalin Chadetin. They had 2 pushkas in the Beis Hamikdash. Really, there were 13 pushkas. We're now only concentrating about 2. There's 1 pushka of the new money that came this year. New money that came this year for this year, the way it's supposed to be from Adar onwards, 3 times a year, before Pesach, before Shavuos, before Sukkot, they would take out the money and buy with that korbanos. The new money is for korbanos. What happens with the leftover money? There's too much money, Baruch Hashem, and you don't buy korbanos with that. With that, you use it for maybe also, but what we're going to see now, they would use it even to build things in Yerushalayim. Because Yerushalayim also has a certain level of kedusha. You use it to, let's say, build and maintain, refurbish the walls of Yerushalayim and the towers of Yerushalayim. It still would happen also. There could be different machlokas here. I'm talking very much in general. Also from last year. Let's say the latecomers, they bring last year's truma now, this year. They bring Tafshin Pei Beis to Tafshin Pei Gimel. Also, that money would not go to korbanos. It's not fresh money. It's called Kalin Atikin, the old money. Old money goes to lesser things, not korbanos. But I don't know about the Kabbalah. I'm saying that's not the issue now. What we're talking now, focusing now, is that the old money would go to fix up and, for the infrastructure of Yerushalayim. So now let's see. Toshma, Molin Bechadetin, then Molin Batikim. We don't say Divrei Rabbi Yehuda, by the way. Says Tanakama, Moilin Bechadetin, which means, let's say somebody was moyel with what? He abused, whatever meila is, took out the new money. The new money is supposed to go for korbanos, the holiest of the holiest, kochim. If you took that, that's meila. You moil b'kochim. Money that's designated for kochim, that's meila. Then molin batikim. The money that's supposed to go to what? Towards the upkeep of the town, of the city. Oh, no. That's not such a great kedusha, and there Meillah does not apply. Okay, that's the Nakama. Rabbi Meir Oimer, no. Moilin af batikim, no, says Rabbi Meir. You moil also the old money. The money from last year, the Meillah does apply to it. Shoy Rabbi Meir Oimer, moilin is Shore Halishka. Shore Halishka is the leftover of the current year. Last year is called the Tikim. Rabbi Meir said they're all the same. They're all the same. And at the end of the day, even money that's supposed to go for what? For the building of the walls of Yerushalayim, that's too, because you have to understand the walls have a specific kedusha because they demarcate the border between Yerushalayim and non-Yerushalayim. Give me a few nafkaminas. What's the difference between inside or outside Yerushalayim halachically? For bonus, I'm surrounded by Talmid Chachamim, Baruch Hashem. Yeah. So the choima was very choshuv. Yeah. Okay. So now to build the choima, says Rabbi Meir, yes, if you have money that's supposed to go for building the choima, and you went and you bought, I don't know, Lego for your child with that, that's called Meillah. Yeah. Now, Frag the Gemara v'amai. Wait a second. You just said what? That according to Rabbi Meir, if you have something such as the clothes of the Kohanim, what are you supposed to do with that? The clothes of the Kohanim, since anyhow the Kohanim use it b'shoigeg, unwillingly, but they have no other choice to use it anyways, so Meillah doesn't apply. Wait a second. This money is supposed to go for what? For building the walls of Yerushalayim. You want to tell me that everybody is going to always make sure not to benefit from the walls of Yerushalayim? The only idea is the heilige border for korbanos. Don't fool yourself. Nema, let us say, right? Clearly, the walls of Yerushalayim are there for you to benefit. Right? Because the Torah you just told me was not given for angels. What I told you, the Gemara says now, the wall of the city, last time I checked, it sometimes gets hot in Yerushalayim, sometimes cold, sometimes not, yeah? It gets hot in Yerushalayim. If there was no choima, then what? Then the shade, it's providing me shade. So I walk around in Yerushalayim, and now the choima is providing me with shade. I'm enjoying the choima. What can I do? I'm walking in Yerushalayim. You want me to have an umbrella all the time? Of course, people enjoy the choima. Says Rashi, or something will sit in the choima. Whatever, when I'm realizing, the Tanan, the Kotzok Yair, and all other needs of the city. I'm not sure what that includes, by the way. Other things that are necessary for the Tan. What? Could be, I don't want to say because it could be, every word could be different here, whatever. So excuse me, so your theory, your pshat seems to be wrong. Let's repeat the question. Yeah, we're asking now a question because the question is, what's going to happen here, says Rabbi Meir, with money of not the primary, the 5-star money, the new money that comes to korbanos. Everyone agrees that money is susceptible to Meillah. That's really, really Kodesh. You know what's going to happen with that money? To the Mizbeach, Avada. But when you talk about the money that's supposed to go for what? For the choima, for the walls, for the towers of the city, for the watchtowers, the Tower of David, whatever, then what? Then says Rabbi Meir, listen, Rabbi Meir says, yes, Meillah applies. Dafka Rabbi Meir says, yeah, there is Meillah. You took that money that's meant to be for fixing up the town and you embezzled it, by mistake even, that's Meillah. Fine. That money is supposed to go. That money translates into, you see this money, this coin, eventually there will be another brick in the wall, and that wall is something which people inadvertently enjoy. And we just wanted to say that if you enjoy it inadvertently here and there, then what? Then you want to say the whole Meillah doesn't apply to the Shaygig. Let me just pinpoint the attack. The attacker says as follows. The one who's attacking the opinion, you have to understand, that's what I was hinting to that before, I'll be more specific. Everybody agrees that the Torah wasn't given to Mlocha Shores. Everyone agrees that the Kohen, unfortunately, not unfortunately, can't, unless there's a new high-tech invention to take your clothes off, boom, by some, magnet in half a second. Everybody takes off their clothes, it takes some time. And everybody walks around Yerushalayim on a hot day will inadvertently enjoy the Choyim. Everyone agrees to that. But the Chiddush was, you wanted to tell me, you want to, as you say in English, to throw the baby with the bathwater. You wanted to extend it too much. You want to tell me, because that's reality, Mimela, if I'm a Kaddish woman with big dekehuna, then I'm not shoygeg. B'shoygeg, I'm not moyel. That's an extension. How do you know? Maybe we only ba'el chidushay. If the coin wears it after hours for 10 seconds as he's taking off, that's okay. But it does mean that there's no Meillah whatsoever. Just like with the Choima, yeah, if you enjoy the walls of the Choima, Seder, no problem. What can you do? But it doesn't mean that if I took the money and I bought with it wine for myself, that's also okay. You're extending that too far. That's a claim against Rav. And says the Gemara, Lo temer Rabbi Meir, lemer Rabbi Yehuda. Simple. Says Gemara, no, we have to switch and say, you know who's the one who says Moilin Ba'atikim? It's actually Rabbi Yehuda. Very good. Rabbi Yehuda never had an issue with Rabbi Yehuda. Really, Rabbi Meir would say that there's no Meillah. Rabbi Yehuda said there is Meillah. Rabbi Yehuda says Meillah. Rabbi Yehuda is the mainstream opinion. Rabbi Yehuda says if you are Moel in what? In money that was supposed to be for the Choima, although the Choima will be used, no choice, but in Maloch HaShoris, people will enjoy it. Says Rabbi Yehuda, I don't care. Yeah, Rabbi Yehuda says still Meillah applies. The one who's Mechadesh, those kind of things, Meillah are out of Meillah. Two things: the clothes and the money for the Choima. The one who made the exceptions, Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir is not the author of that opinion. So Rabbi Yehuda. I call Bal Mekoyim B'Basholim. You okay, bro? Are you friends with me? Yes, I'm sure we're friends. Yeah. Let me. Okay, ask your question. Ask your question. Now, one more small question and an answer, and the rest I think we'll see tomorrow. Toshma, the Tanya. It says in the Brisa, trying to attack what we said before. Amar Bishmoel bar Yitzchak. Avni Yerushalayim shenoshru. Let's say a stone, one brick from a wall of Yerushalayim fell by mistake. Moyalim behem div Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir says Meillah applies. If you go and take that stone, take it with you back home. The guy lives in Manhattan. He's very excited. The wall from Yerushalayim, yeah, he's going to show it to all his friends, and then he's going to start sitting on it, enjoying it in different ways, eating on it, whatever. So that is called Meillah, and it applies. Meillah, B'shoigeg, you have to pay Chomesh, V'osham. I'm not joking business. Does make sense. Because why? We just said that Rabbi Meir is one who doesn't say there's Meillah, right? In other words, we said Rabbi Yehuda is the one who believes that the money for the Choima or the Choima Meillah applies to. We swapped the opinions. And so the Gemara, okay, here we'll swap it here too. Very good. It's really Rabbi Yehuda, which means Rabbi Yehuda, we just swapped the opinion. Rabbi Yehuda is the one who believes that Meillah applies to both real Kodshim, such as Kodshim Kadoshim, also to Bedek Habayis Tzvi, and even to, Rabbi Yehuda says, Meillah does apply even to the walls of Yerushalayim. But I walk around there and enjoy the tzel, the shadow. Well, you have no choice. But very not nice saying in Hebrew. You give a chazir a finger, he wants the whole hand. He gave you a little bit, doesn't mean you can go all 9 yards. Doesn't mean you can go wild. When you have no choice, you enjoy the tzel, you enjoy the shadow, the shade, because that's the way it is. It does mean you can now start taking a thing and carve out the whole business out of it. Doesn't take it that far. That's Rabbi Yehuda. Well, Rabbi Meir says no. Rabbi Meir says it's not b'shoigeg, says Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Meir says b'shoigeg no, because these things sometimes it's inadvertent. You enjoy them. Therefore, says Rabbi Meir, big de keuna and the walls of Yerushalayim. If b'shoigeg you did business with them, you moved them out of the domain, you sold them, you bought them, you enjoyed them. B'shoigeg Meillah does apply. Meillah says Meillah does not apply. Rabbi Meir says Meillah does not apply, and that's our Mishnah. So let's summarize. Let's summarize one sentence in the Mishnah we explained the whole day today. What's the sentence? Rabbi Meir. Why does Rabbi Meir lemaskono so far? Lemaskono. Why did Rabbi Meir says b'mezid kiddush b'shoigeg loy kiddush? Yeah, b'mezid kiddushin apply b'meila and b'shoigeg not. Rabbi Meir goes against the grains of normal meila because we're talking about what did he give her? A very nice set of bigdei kehuna. Mistakenly, he didn't know it's bigdei kehuna, and therefore what? Because bigdei kehuna are meant to sometimes being kilu moil in. Mimela, even if you did complete meila, not wearing them outside work a little bit for 10 seconds, you gave them to the lady Kiddushin by mistake, Mimela Mila doesn't apply. If Mila doesn't apply, Mimela what? Mila doesn't apply. So she's not Mekudeshes. Here you see. Shogeg lo Kiddush de Rabbi Meir. Mezid Kiddush. Why? Mezid, it's the other way around. He believes Mezid is Kiddush still. If it's B'mezid, then because then we don't say that. Shkoyach Hatzlacho Bracha, Agit and Erev Shabbos Hatzlacho. Thank you to YouTube people. I mean, the YouTube people who watch us at least. And to the Torah Anytime people. Hatzlocha uvrocha b'chol ha'inyonim tomid. Thank you and a git ner Shabbos.